I'm from Australia, North Queensland. North Queensland, it's a fairly frontier area of Australia, where there's very much still men's clubs and a very strong glass ceiling for women. So to work in those areas, you have to be twice as good, and I think for me particularly, it's being able to get some of the hard data that supports women get through that glass ceiling, so that there is people on boards, people that are involved at very senior management. That in the area I work in, that's very limited. Mm-hmm. And what I can bring here is maybe backup support rather than anything else.
I'm Carol Goman, and I'm an author and a keynote speaker. And I've been involved in change management and collaborative leadership and sort of any topic that grabs me under the umbrella of change. So my recent book is on nonverbal behavior. And what I noticed when I did a very informal study of maybe, I can't remember, 180 people about differences in the workplace in communication, that what I got back was probably 90% nonverbal. The real differences that were taking place wasn't what women were saying as much as how they looked when they were saying it and how they were saying it. So the chapter in my new book that I'm writing, again on body language, is going to be, one chapter is on gender differences, but the whole book I want to do half my perspective and half an international panel which would then talk about their hit on my perspective in their particular culture. Not of body language experts, but of business men and women on the ground who would be telling their success or war stories or whatever. So that's...
So for next year's summit or research that we could help you with, do you have any thoughts?
Well, you know, this is the first time I've even thought of it, because I talked to you at lunch and that was how I got into this. But yeah, I'm sure there's just tons of things. I am really looking for the neuroscience behind any of this, and I'm sure that as we talk, there hasn't been enough gender research to give me any of that, or cultural research perhaps. So other areas that I'm looking at in the book is really the difference between face-to-face interaction and virtual interaction.
Well, I can help you with resources that go back 40 years in cross-cultural studies of body-based information.
Oh, good. Because
so there will be a marvelous network. What would you like to contribute for next year?
Well, depending on how the research goes, I could certainly speak to, whatever I find that correlates between the nonverbal aspect of leadership. I have a program called the Silent Language of Leadership that would be an expansion of that for this audience, with everything I could find that would back it up in a neuroscience field.
Interesting.
I'd love to everybody probably would have.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry.
One idea would be, if we can organize some kind of research, is to have the same problem and have a very good or well-known male and female top-level leader to make the decision, and then somebody would just actually look where does it happen in the brain.
Lots of ideas coming. Writing it down.
Because that would then really show whether there is any difference in the process, or where do we, as females or as men, make the decisions.